Hey guys, and welcome back to the All That Jaz Podcast. I'm your host Jaz, and in every episode we'll be discussing something fun, fresh, and filled with information. Today's guest is Gurdeep Kandola, founder of Setal Holistic Wellbeing, and she'll be discussing tarot and all things holistic. So let's dive right in. Lights, camera, and all that jazz. So welcome Gurdeep to the All That Jaz Podcast.
Hello, Jaz. Thanks for having me today.
You're most welcome. So, tarot and holistic well-being. Talk us through it.
Okay, so my journey started with the holistic side 20 odd years ago now.
Wow.
And it was all based off, a health challenge that I'd had at a younger age.
Yeah.
And I became very spiritually inclined, if you will.
Yeah.
And then I remember my cousin saying to me, "Oh, do you fancy doing a Reiki course?" And I was like, "Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
There's nothing else to do."
Yeah.
And that's where it kind of began from. So it was all that hands-on healing. And, I became really interested because I guess for me, even growing up, I was always the one that everybody came to with their problems.
Yeah.
And I like to think of myself as a good listener.
Of course.
And that's where it began from. So it felt like a real natural fit.
Yeah.
And as time went by, as I was going through my own healing journey alongside Reiki, I then stumbled across sound healing, which is using sort of tuning forks with different frequencies. You know yourself,
Yeah.
because you've had the sessions.
Yeah.
And just sort of working with the frequencies to help people, to release trauma or, things that they may want to sometimes even just for relaxation more than anything.
Yeah, definitely.
And then I kind of stumbled across massage and I thought this will be a really good way, a tangible way of sort of reaching people because I feel like with the healing hands, it really adds that extra bit.
Yeah.
And then I came tarot, let's get on to the subject of tarot. So tarot I've been interested in for many, many years, I'd say 20 plus years. But never really used it to sort of guide others.
Yeah.
So I thought, right, okay, this is something I really, so last year, just go back to last year, I really started to develop my skills and utilize them a lot more.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where tarot was. And then I was let forward into doing an event.
Oh, wow.
Which really pushed me out of my comfort zone. This is pushing me out of my comfort zone.
That's where we grow.
Exactly. It is. And it is those uncomfortable places that, we so live in our minds all the time. I want to do this and I want to achieve this. And I thought, okay, this is out of my comfort zone. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And I've done quite a few events now. And, it's for me, it's about helping others to gain that clarity, any guidance, any insights that they may want, just to help them make better informed decisions for themselves. I'm not there to predict anything, which we will come on to.
Although I love your predictions. They're always right.
Thank you. But I follow... So even though I know what the cards are and what they mean, I do tend to follow my intuition quite a lot, which you build as you go through your spiritual journey.
That's great. So and there's a lot of people that misuse it because, God knows, every time I go on TikTok, it's like, your ex is going to come back if you claim this in 3 sounds. And, I've pulled this card for you. And I'm like, okay, really, I'll like it then.
I think that's where the history kind of comes in because it sort of started in the sort of 15th century where it was just used for playing cards.
Yeah.
And then come the 18th century, that's when it took on a little bit of a different twist. So it was used for occult mysticism.
Witches.
Yes, witches. So I think that's where tarot, there's that misconception around that. And then in the 20th century, that's where psychologist Carl Jung, sort of used it for more psychological basis. So looking at the cards as archetypes.
Wow.
And helping the subconscious come into the conscious, which is...
We love that subconscious, don't we?
Yes, we do. Because we operate from our subconscious all the time. And for me, personally, when I'm working with the tarots, it's about those images giving you that... it's bringing whatever's at that subconscious level into the consciousness so that you're aware of what might need to change.
I love that. So let's talk about the cards themselves. What do the cards represent and how can they help people?
So the cards, it's a 78 deck. 56 of them are what we call the minor arcana. So they represent your everyday life. And then the 22 major arcana are more centered around the sort of the big things that happen in your life, the significant things that happen.
Yeah.
And with the major arcana, it is literally about the fool's journey through life.
Yeah.
Very much about how we go through life. We have, so that there's the first stage, which is the sort of, innocence, curiosity of life. And then you have the middle phase of the fool's journey when he realizes there's challenges ahead. There's, significant things that happen in their life, in one's life. And then the final stage is about implementing those and then realizing what your path is.
Yeah.
So then it goes from the fool's journey all the way to the end, which is the world.
Yeah.
So it's a cycle, but it doesn't end there. As you know, we go through many cycles and changes in our lives.
Yeah.
So therefore, you then restart that journey all over again. Because the fool realizes that actually life isn't so innocent and, wide-eyed.
Oh God, I'm that fool. Just had that realization.
So I guess it's that journey that we all go through constantly in our lives. I always say life is not, a destination; it's a journey.
100%.
So we're constantly going through that all the time, and then you reach the fall again, and then again it's those new beginnings and starting something new.
Yeah. And how do you think tarot in 2025 in today's age can actually help people to, gain that insight in life and help them find their journey and find their destination?
I feel that, like I said before, it's all about the clarity. For me, it's about giving you that insight into what's going on, because I think sometimes tarot gets a really bad name. Some misconceptions are, it's fraud, and I feel like there are people out there that may be like that.
Yeah.
But I always feel like whatever you do in your life, it's the intent. You can use a knife to harm someone, or you can use it to cut food up and feed yourself and your family. Yeah. It's all about intention. And there's a lot of, again, the occult, the mysticism. So I feel like it gets a bad name.
Yeah.
And for some people, they use it to predict the future, which is fine. It's a skill within itself.
Yeah.
But for me, I know I'm digressing a little bit, but just wanted to add this in, that I feel for me that predicting the future is a little bit challenging at times, I feel, because the card spread, the reading itself, is based on your current situation.
Yeah.
What you then choose to do with it afterwards, once you've got that clarity, can then change a whole host of things for you.
100%. Yeah.
So, and then New Age, some people, like I said, will use it for lots of different reasons. But for me personally, as I keep probably banging on about, is just providing that clarity, that guidance. Yeah. And I feel that when you provide those elements to somebody, you're then empowering them to make decisions for themselves.
100%.
Not with some people who just like people to rely on them constantly. That's not what I'm all about. I'm there to help someone, and I always say to somebody after a reading, if you need any further clarity on any of the cards, please get in touch.
Yeah, I definitely agree, because I think every time I've had a reading with you, I remember our first reading was just wild. It was like, I just remember all the cards coming out and they were all wands, and I was just like, why am I not getting the readings that I see on TikTok? Where are those pentacles? Where's the, the Fool and the Lovers and all of this? And I just remember one thing you said, it was like, these cards mean keep the momentum going. And at the time, I think I was in a place in my life where I was like, I don't even know what that means. Like, my journey, what I've been through the past couple of years. So that my life has literally been a mess, and I have been the fool, and I don't think I've been seeing my journey. But I think when I saw those cards, I was like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
And then I started slowly understanding, if I don't go to the gym 5 days a week, I just need to keep the momentum going. That means if I just go for a walk every day, or, you know, have something healthy, switch my foods out, that's keeping the momentum going. And especially with like content creation and keeping my passions alive, it was like, okay, you don't have to post 5 TikToks in one day, but if you know, you're posting 1 or 2 a week, you're keeping the momentum going. And I think that's how I got so far, until a couple of weeks ago where we had my last reading. And that one honestly was the best reading I've ever had. And that's one of the main and biggest reasons why I wanted to have you on, is because it was actually life-changing. And it wasn't because I didn't know these things, I knew them, but it was like a sign from the universe, like, okay, you know it, the universe knows it, so you need to, you know, start putting the plans in. And just for a bit of clarity, the cards that came out were like, you know, there's stuff coming in the future, there's lots of your passions, you know, you're going to be picking up your passions and all of this kind of stuff, and maybe we'll sprinkle a bit of love in there, we don't really know, but and it kind of set my intentions. And it's like you said about intentions, you set your intentions. I think tarot helps you set your own intentions, because you're like, okay, here's my sign, I need to do this, I need to, you know, start moving forward. And that's why we're here today, honestly, because starting up a podcast was so like, I'm not going to do this, I can't do that, like we don't do this, culturally as well, you know, girls don't do this, you know, but I just needed that push. And I want people to know that, you know, if you need clarity in life, not everything has to be black and white. There is a lot of grey areas in life. I noticed that myself. But I feel like having that clarity and seeing it in cards, because every card is so meaningful. Like when the devil comes out, I'm like, oh, there's my card. Because people think the devil is such a bad card. Like even looking at it, it just looks like so nasty. But when it comes out, it just means so many different things. So like in all my cards, like the Queen and the High Priestess, she just resonates with my soul. But so I'm
glad it resonated. And just coming off that as well, I guess it gives somebody a subjective view to something. Objective view, sorry. To something, because and again, just tapping into what you just said there, Jazz, it does, even though we all know, I've been there myself, still, you know, we're a work in progress all the time. We know sometimes the answers, but because we're so involved in that situation emotionally on so many levels, it just makes you think, okay, cool, I'm on the right track. This person's just confirmed it for me.
100%.
You know, and I'm so glad. And you also touched on the cards. So there are a couple of cards, like the Death card and the Devil card, but they're not bad cards. Death represents rebirth. It represents the ending of something. The Tower card, even, you know, people think, oh my God, destruction. But the Tower card just represents a well-needed change that has to happen. Because, you know, when you don't listen, the universe will go, here you go. And the Devil card itself is just about entrapment, self-limiting beliefs. You know, that you can overcome. So sometimes it is to do with things like addiction. But it's just bringing them into the awareness. And going back to the cards, actually, we were talking about the major arcana cards, but the minor arcana are split into 4 suits. So you've got the Wands, which is all fire energy, but can represent burnout. And then you have the Swords, which represent air element, and is all about your thoughts, your mind, you know, being strategic, if you will. And then you have the Pentacles. Now, the Pentacles are abundance, as you know, and they're earth energy. They are. But they're also about that progress, that sure but steady progress in life. And they're all to do with the physical, the body, the matter. And then you have the Cups, which have all to do with your emotions and that emotional fulfillment.
I agree. I've had the Devil card last one, and I've had the Death card before as well, I think, and I completely agree. I feel like the Death card, there's such a negative connotation around it, like death, but it's the death of something that you really need to die. Like you know my journey, there were so many things that needed to die, and when that Devil card came out and it was like self-limiting beliefs, I was like, there she is, because self-limiting beliefs, I think, is one thing that holds not everybody, but I think it holds a lot of people back, especially women. I think women, Asian women, we definitely get held back with all of the, you know, you can't do this, you know, it doesn't look good. They don't do it in our family. Yeah. A good girl wouldn't do that. Well, I'm not a good girl, so.
A lot of cultural biases, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. And I think having those cards come out, it kind of shows you, and I completely agree with what you said, when you don't listen, the universe is like, well, if it isn't the consequences of your actions. And I've had that loads of times. I feel like I've gone through in my relationships, well, whether they're family, friends, romantic, I've gone through the same thing again and again, where it's like I put my all and they're just putting like pennies and I'm putting all pounds, and then I'm like, oh, I wonder why that friend keeps walking over me. I wonder why my ex did this. I wonder why this family member did this, because I'm just not learning. And I think I got to the point where I was like, you know what, I'd only called you for a massage.
Yes, you did.
Because I just wanted to relax because stress is getting too much. And next thing you know, we've just gone on this really beautiful journey. I'm very thankful that, you know, the universe, and I feel like that was the universe putting us together.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
And I think so much can grow from relationships with people, so many different connections. So when we say, oh, never say never, you know, we talked a little bit about predictions there, Jaz. And the reason I talk about predictions is that sometimes people, I might say something to somebody intuitively, because I do read the cards intuitively, and they might be like, oh, no, I don't know what that means. And that's okay, because it's not in their awareness yet.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think that's one of the things to bear in mind. Yeah. But again, all comes down to what path you follow thereafter. Yeah,
definitely. I think whenever you've read my cards, it's been very with your intuition, and it's always been right. Like, this is why I say I'm such a big advocate of, I don't advocate for things that I've not tried before. Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, I heard this is like the new trend. I'll only advocate for things that I've tried and I know it works. And I think a lot of people, again, culturally, they think tarot is for witches, tarot is not for God, tarot is, you know, you're moving away from your God. I know a lot of people said to me when, you know, you're doing a tarot reading, but why don't you just go to the Gurdwara and pray? I'm like, I do that as well. Like, that doesn't take me away from my faith, but this is spiritual. I think they're on different levels. That's one of the misconceptions I've definitely seen, is people just don't believe it. And again, TikTok, every time I go on TikTok, I've been messaged by loads of tarot card readers like, oh, hi, you know, I just connected with your energy. And there was once I actually responded to a guy and I was like, really? You connected with my energy? And he was like, yeah, you know, I want to give you a reading. It'll be free. I was like, okay, you know, we're all up for free things. And the next thing you know, he was like, oh, there'll just be a charge for this. And I was just like, yeah, this is a scam. And then I started I do still watch a lot of TikToks that have tarot, and especially relating to like my star sign and Leos, because I am a Leo through and through. You'll never catch me ever moving out of that. I'm the fiercest lion you could ever find, and I'm extremely stubborn, and I'm exactly everybody who knows me probably like, yeah, she's definitely like that.
That's how you channel that energy, right?
Yeah, like, again, I was telling you this morning only, I was like, I saw a tarot reading sort of thing that was like, Leo, you need to just wake up and just say, you need to be humble and I need to be soft-spoken. I was like, I need to be humble and soft-spoken. Don't rip anyone's head off today. Yeah. And I think you channel on that energy. There's a lot of people that I know that are also Leos that really needs to chill down, and they really just need to channel that fierce energy into something else, because yeah, and I agree. I think tarot brings that clarity. It just brings everything up to the surface. Like you said, I heard a quote that said, you can't see your reflection in boiling water. And it's so true, because when the water's boiling, you don't see anything clearly. You don't see anything for what it actually is. And if you imagine you put loads of sort of beans and gold stars at the bottom of this bowl, but the water's bubbling, you can't see anything at all. And I feel like tarot calms you down. It lets the water relax, it lets it ebb and flow, and then you actually see things for what they are. And that's how I felt, because before I did tarot, I was like, nothing's going right in my life. And you know, you have that kind of like that imposter syndrome, like, it's not me, it's never going to be me, I can't do this, and oh, it just happens to me. Like, how is everyone else living their life so well? Like, I follow so many creators, they live their life completely independently, and I'm like, how does she wear that? How does she do that? Like, did she not feel silly? Until I started getting a few readings, and I was like, okay, self-limiting beliefs, you need to, you know, take one step at a time. I started taking my appearance seriously, you know, little things like oiling your hair so it grows, you know, trying a different outfit, and all these kind of things, and slowly you build it up. And that was when the water started relaxing, and I saw my real potential at that bottom, and I was just like, there it is. I was like, there she is. She was hiding there all along. It was just all those people that said, like, I did a shoot, and I remember so many people being like, you can't be a model. And I was just like, watch me. Because when I am, you're gonna, exactly, watch me. And I was just like, no, be soft-spoken. And I was just like, just relax, it's okay. And tarot really, really does bring all of that clarity. It calms the mind. Because I feel like the mind is the engine of the body. If it's not working, you're not getting anywhere. And I say this to so many people, and I fall in the trap as well. You'll see, if you read any of my text messages with my friends, I'm like, I hate my life. I said it to you as well, I hate my life, just before you came, and you were like, don't say that, don't let those words come out of your mouth. And again, I feel like tarot brings that. It brings that insight. It's just like it's not a future prediction, you know. I think when people think of tarot, they think of someone in a purple long cape, and I don't over a crystal ball. I don't do that. You do not come with a crystal ball. I was gonna say, I would love for you to bring one. And they just think that, oh, you know, you're gonna, or like, you know, the ones where you pull the ticket and she's just talking and she's like, or a fortune cookie, like all these things are cultural, and you know, they do have their significance. But
I think everything has its place in life. I think it's all about belief, and I really want to go back to what you were saying about culture. And I feel that, you know, there is always, I think it's a fear that people 100%, have. Oh, she's going into this, she's going into that. You know, I get that sometimes from my mum. Sorry, mum. And you know,
me too. Sorry, mum.
And it's, for me, whether you believe in the universe, divine, God, for me it's God. So before I do a reading, I'll always tap into that energy. I don't go to any guides or anything like that, because I've just not been that way inclined. Because I go straight to the source. And I'm like, today, please bring forward anybody who needs the help today, who needs that support, and can you give me clear guidance to help this individual? So for me, it's always about connecting to that source energy. Because I am purely the vessel. That is all I am. And I'm just channeling that information and bringing it forward in that moment for that person. And also, when you were saying about it bringing everything to the surface, and that's what I love about tarot, because you've got these beautiful cards. And for me, I'm very visual. So I like to see that journey, that path. And I feel like that really helps people sometimes to see the overall picture, because otherwise it's living in your mind constantly. And sometimes I'll say to people, I've said it to you, oh, this card seems quite significant, Jazz. If it's depending on the spread that I'm doing, I want you to focus on this. I want you to see what feelings it evokes over the next week. You know, journal on it. You know, so they can be used as a self-tool, like a reflection tool as well. So for me, it's all about just that psychological, just bringing those, again, subconscious to the conscious mind, and then working with it.
I agree, because the mind, especially like when I had my first reading, my mind was not in the right place. It was not clean and clear, and it wasn't working right. It wasn't thinking right. So the subconscious, and I know, like you're saying, bring the subconscious up. And I think that's what you need to do, because if you can't bring it up, you can't get it out.
That's right.
Because mine was just like, okay, well, this big thing has happened, this big tragedy's happened, and it's all your fault, and it was all your fault, and like they blamed you and they blamed you, now everyone's blamed, so it was your fault anyway. And I'm just like, okay. And that sat with me, and I think it was like, I used to go out for I didn't have a job, I used to go out for a coffee, and I used to just sit there and be like, I don't even deserve this £3 coffee. And I was like, really? That's actually ridiculous. Like, so what if I don't have a job? And I kept that mindset, like, money comes to me, it's completely fine. If I don't have a bit of money, I'm not some big shot millionaire that I've been living, you know, driving these big cars and eating all this. We've lived below our means anyway. Like, that's just who we are. We're not just people that, you know, very humble, just keep it, you know, keep it chill. So I was like, so what if I don't have a job? Like, it's really not that deep. But everyone was like, you need a job. Like, you're falling behind. Obviously, I'm from the legal field in my career. So all my friends were getting their training contracts, and everyone's becoming a solicitor. 4 of my friends are married, 2 have got babies. And I'm just left behind. And you just think, oh my God, I've been left behind. Like, I've stumbled in the race, but people don't see how many hurdles you had to jump over. People could just be running a straight mile. Obviously, they're going to get to the destination. There were so many hurdles. And then I just kept thinking, okay, I don't have a job, so I'll just, you know, my parents were supporting me financially. I'm so grateful for that. So I was like, let me just work with what I have. You know, you work with the tools and the resources that you have at that time. And I kept that. I remember I was speaking to you and you were like, abundance mindset, keep it in your head. And I just kept it in my head. I was like, you know what? The money will find me. Like, God always has a way. The universe has a way. Next thing you know, my student loan came back to me. Oh, you've paid too much student loan. Here's this much money. Wow. I was like, okay, that's great. Into savings. I've recuperated some of the financial loss I've made. A couple of months later, you know, as the money started to run out because I was focusing on content, I was, you know, living my life. I was living my life to the full.
So you should.
Yep, as you should. And then again, I was like, oh no, everyone got on my back again. You need to find a job. It's been 6 to 8 months since this thing happened. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm looking, can't find a job at the moment. Get an email from HMRC. You get a tax rebate. And I was just like, oh my God. It's like when you pull a community chest card in Monopoly and you're like, pass go, get £200. So I think that clarity came because we stayed in touch.
Yep.
And I think tarot does that 100%. It clears your mind.
Yes.
Like when there's a plant and the root is dying, you don't start cutting all the leaves. You start getting to the root, fixing the problem. And that's what I did. I used tarot, I used the universe and, you know, all these affirmations. Like even this morning, I was like, if you've seen the girls trip, when one of the, I can't remember what her name is, but she's about to go on stage, she's like, I am beautiful, I deserve this. And I was doing it in the mirror. I was like, you can do this. Yes, you can do this. And I agree. I think tarot brings that clarity and it brought it to me.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted you on, because I need this to go out to the community. I need people to know we're not witches, even though my t-shirt might say witch. That's just a personality trait. It's not. We're not witches. This is not a cult.
It's a play, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. We're not all sitting there above a fire, throwing in little dolls, this, that. We're not doing that. Yeah. It's about bringing your mind, clearing your mind, because it's success. People who know me ask me, how did you get over that in 6 months? Because my mind was free. Like it's like the devil card is entrapment. I was in these shackles constantly, like of guilt, and I was just like, okay, but I've not committed any crimes. I was like, I didn't do anything wrong. It happened. Whatever happened. It wasn't even my fault. And let it go. Like release yourself from this entrapment. And if people saw me in 2024, I guess it was, since then I have changed completely because I had to free myself of those shackles. So if anybody wants to be free like me, I think tarot is definitely the way to go.
I think, and thank you so much for that. And thank you for entrusting me. And that's how I generally, when I finish with somebody when I'm doing a tarot, I was like, thank you so much for entrusting me with your personal life, because it takes a lot to talk to a stranger.
100%.
And I feel like for you, when I first met you, you're so different to where you are. And I think for me, again, it's all down to that responsibility of yourself as well. Like sometimes you can see things in people. You have to be very mindful how you deliver it and when you deliver it. And I think when I first met you, I could already see the words I kept getting in my head at that time were, she's not tapping into her potential. She's not tapping into her potential. But I didn't know you well enough to say that. And as time progressed, divine timing. It came.
You did
forward,
start saying it,
And then when you were sort of opening up to it, I was like, there is so much creativity in you, Jazz. It's insane. Like, just roll with it. And you did.
Yeah.
You chose to.
I did, yeah.
You chose to do
100%.
that.
When I met you, I still remember our interactions. I was so meek, and that's not me. I was so like, do you want to move this over here? And I was like really soft spoken, and now I'm like, yo, Gurdeep, get in the house.
Very directive, but not in a disrespectful way, just that you know yourself and you know what you want, you know what you like.
Exactly. And I just don't change. Like when I saw you the first time, I was going through it, and I was just like, you know, like I wasn't even enjoying the massages. I was constantly tense because I was like, I don't deserve this. And now I'm just like, I'll tell my family, don't talk, don't make any noises. I've got this massage, and then I'm doing tarot, and then I'm doing this. And everyone's just like, yeah, cool. And I'm like, see, this is how easy it was. And again, I noticed when I met you, you were like, how's it going? Like, it was always very like, maybe just not insult her. And now you're just like, get your shit together, because seriously, you need to. And I needed that. And I'm the type of person that actually does need to be kicked kind of up the bum kind of a lot of times.
But you were open to it, Jaz. And that's the other important thing I just wanted to say. You know, sometimes people say, oh, I went to a tarot reader and, you know, she didn't tell me anything. She didn't tell me anything, you know. And I actually came across an individual. So I was really pushed out of my comfort zone doing an event, which I was really humbly asked to be a part of. And I remember I was so nervous that day. So, you know, this is me also saying about pushing yourself out of your comfort zones, because we all have our thing. And this individual, she came, she was such a lovely girl. And as I was pulling the cards out, she was like, oh, I don't know. I don't know. And I had to just really nice and politely say, are you quite sort of closed in your life? Is there something? Because something's definitely there that's made. And she just went, yeah, I am. So I said, well, the thing is, you're not going to get out of this reading if you're not open to it. And I think people think, oh, let's test this out. You know, tarot isn't for testing. You don't come to me for any testing. You either want to know something or you don't want to know it.
Exactly.
And I'll humbly do that for you. But I feel like you also have to be receptive to it. And you're quite 100%. A receptive individual anyway. I feel like you're open to it. Because otherwise, what's intrigued you in the first place? Yeah.
And I completely agree. I read another quote that was like, people hide their weaknesses, but if you tell everyone what your weaknesses are, they've got nothing to attack you with. Like, people know I get triggered very quickly, and they try to, and I'm just like, okay. Or people know I used to be conscious about how tall I was conscious about the way I looked, and now I'm just like, okay,
embrace it.
I embrace it. Like, even when I was younger, I know culturally, like, don't stay out in the sun, you're gonna get a bit dark, and now I'm just like, yeah, okay, I'll wear yellow if I want to. I actually remember a lot of my family members used to be like, you know, when you get a gift and stuff, and they'd be like, this one's for you, this one's for you, and there was like an Indian suit, and then their relative was like, I wouldn't give it to you, you know, yellow's not really your colour.
Wow.
And then I went to two weddings after that, and I wore yellow, and the same person was like, oh, you're wearing yellow, and I was like, well, it's on my body, isn't it? Like, of course I am. And I think I've always just been like that. I'm like, okay, maybe my skin was a bit darker when I was younger, but it's fine. Like, it's a colour. The clothes are made for our body. Our bodies are not supposed to be made for clothes. And I think when I had my first reading, I wasn't very open to it, because not in a way where I didn't trust you, but it was like, I want to test this out. It was kind of like that. Like, imagine they tell me something and it's completely wrong. And I was waiting for it to be wrong all the way up until the reading. And then when I got to the reading, I was like, don't be silly. Like, you need to grow up. You need to be open-minded. I've always been open-minded about everything, because I believe things are not black and white. You can't just be one thing or be another. There's so many experiences, and I've been that person. I want to experience everything in life. And I think because, again, I know a lot of Indian women that are like that, is because maybe we just don't get the chance. So it's like, okay, well, I want everything right now. And my parents are always like, you've got no patience, you know, you need to relax. And I'm like, no, I just want to live as much life as I can. And I was like that before my personal tragedy happened. Now I'm like, I am running out of time. I need to enjoy everything. And I agree, this last reading was amazing, because my mind is completely open. I'm completely receptive to everything. I'm like, I didn't tell you anything about what was going on in my life either. And there were a few things I didn't tell you.
We see each other all the time.
Yeah, so I was like, I'm not going to tell her what's happening. Let's see what the cards are saying. And when you gave me those cards and you gave me the crystals to hold, I was like really pulling into that energy. And I was just like, let me see what you have for me. And I said that, and then when I shuffled the cards and I picked the decks, it was perfect. Even when we did the January to December, I was like,
I remember that.
When you pulled out August and slapped the card on, it was Queen. I was like, here we go. I was almost
the cards never lie, Jaz. The cards never lie. That's what I say to people. They don't lie. You may just not be ready to receive it, but in this instance, you were.
Yeah, 100%. So, our final topic, spreads. What are the card spreads, and how can people use the cards, tarot and spreads to do something little for themselves?
So I would say, if you're new to tarots, or even if you've got them and you've had it, you know, you're intrigued by them, the most simplest thing you can do is really connect with your cards. Don't be into the preconceived ideas of, reading reversals. I don't read cards in reverse, because it's just something that was brought in at some point in history. So because every card has the, if you will, the sort of the positive side, and then the sides that could be quite negative. Okay, so when I say negative, I'm going to use it's a very loose term.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying, it's just the sort of, there's both sides to everything, isn't there? We're light and dark as well.
Yeah.
So we all have, so that's how you've got to look at them. So the simplest way is to just give them a really good shuffle, connect with them, maybe place them against your heart area, and do a daily card pull. So whatever your routine is, whatever your, if you have sort of a ritual that you do every morning, whenever you do that, just incorporate it into that. So bring forward what I need to know for today.
Yeah.
And really study that card, look at that card, see what feelings does it come up with, journal it. And then if you want to, you can go back to it later that day and say, how did my day kind of pan out today?
Yeah.
And then you think, oh God, yeah, that card came out. I did come across a little bit of, obstacles or a bit of challenges today, and I got through them. Yeah. Okay, so it kind of gives you that. The other way you can do it is doing a 3-card spread. So you're looking at your past, your present, and your possible outcome.
Oh, throw the past card in the bin.
Yes, put it in the bin.
Put it in the bin. We don't want to see it.
Exactly. But it gives you an insight of where you've come from, where you are right now, and that outcome to the situation that you've asked about.
Yeah.
You can then build on that and do a 4-card spread if you wanted to. Yeah. So again, what you're doing is you're incorporating into that one the possible, what's sort of standing in your way. So you've got the present situation, what's standing in your way, what action you need to take to change that around, because we can flip everything around, as we know, as you've said, and then what the outcome of that is. Sometimes the outcomes do need a little bit more clarity, so always feel free to pull another card. I would say just be open with it. Remember intention. If you're shuffling those cards, remember, what is my intention? What do I need to know? So they would be the best ways to sort of, for any beginners or people that have got them, just haven't used them very much.
I got my cards from Lidl. I walked into Lidl and I was like looking, I was just looking for some milk. I was looking for some groceries. And that middle section, the golden section of Lidl. I went in there and I was just walking around and I picked up 3 books. I picked up the chakras, the poster, and there were some chakra cards. I picked up a crystal. I was so shocked. I was like, I don't know if this is real. It might be a gemstone, but it's Lidl. They could surprise us. And then I picked up some tarot cards. Such beautiful cards. It comes with like the book about what each card means. There was loads of spreads in there as well. And I know you can get them from everywhere. All the tarot card readers I see online, they have some beautiful cards. They have minimalistic cards, and they have like I like the original ones. I like the ones with the actual pictures.
Rider-Waite.
Yeah, I love those.
Rider-Waite is the original. And I would say on that note as well, Jazz, because you've gone out and you've, thought, oh, wow, this is amazing. Because you're so sort of open to it and excited, is choose the Rider-Waite is the best one to start with, because they're originals, and then you can build off that, but always choose cards that you're drawn to. Don't just do because so and so had it online. There's some cards I've seen that I just don't connect with. Someone's
really ugly. I saw a pink deck. I was like, oh, next payday, that's mine. And it was just so beautiful and it was so girly.
I mean, like my tarot reader, when she did mine once, she was using it, and then afterwards I said, when we do the general reading, are we okay? She goes, of course you can, because I just didn't connect with them. They were nice. But, everybody's different.
You just don't connect. And I like the way you've been talking about, like, with the 3-card spread. You say the past, the present, and the outcome. Because, again, when you say future, people are like,
yes,
oh, my God, she's a psychic. Oh, my God, let me ask her about this. Or a lot of people think tarot is, like, you're a medium. Like, you're pulling out cards for the dead and, it's Ouija boards. And it's really not. Like, I can tell the community right now, it's really not. There's no black magic. Gurdeep doesn't have a voodoo doll of me.
No, I don't.
Not yet. So if you carry on. Someone's got it. It's not Gurdeep.
It's all perception. It's all about 100%. Your perception. And I have to add on to that there might be mediums out there that may use cards like in that way. But again, New Age, tarot cards for me personally are not used in a way they're there to empower people.
And I think in 2025, with everything that's going on with people's mental health, with work stress, with relationships, kids, everything, I feel like everybody needs empowerment. And Women's Day has just gone. I've seen so many posts of so many women that were like, it's Women's Day, but let's talk about what's happening here, and this is what's happening with women, and there's no rights, that, you know, gender pay inequality. All this kind of stuff, it really does get to you.
It does.
Yeah. And I feel like women, not just women, a lot of men need empowering. A lot of my male friends, you know, it's been really hard for them. Just generally, you know, we feel the pressure of getting married and moving on and being successful. They also feel it. They feel the pressure. So I feel like it's not just a girls thing that people do. I feel like if you really want to be open with your life, you want to be empowered, because everybody needs empowerment.
They do. I've had some male people, like, you know, come, and sometimes it's a bit daunting, like, oh my goodness, because you have this preconceived idea, what possibly would they, how are they intrigued in this? But they are intrigued, they just respond differently.
Yeah, of course. They're not just like, oh my god, yes girl. They're like, okay, yeah, cool. I'll take that.
The other thing I would like to say, Jaz, is that, you know, to your audience, you know, is that if you do choose to have a tarot reading, make sure it's with somebody that you feel connected to, like with anything in life.
100%.
Whether that's your relationships, whether you're having counselling, always make sure that you have a connection and you feel drawn, because that's so important as well.
Yeah, I agree. Like you said with counselling, I feel like when tarot lifts all of the misconceptions from your subconscious and brings them up, you actually start doing a lot of things that you didn't really think you'd do. Right. Like, I'm pretty sure after we had our first reading, I was like, I'm going to ring my therapist. Like, I need to see her again. And therapy is not something to hide. It's not like, again, another misconception. You're not crazy if you're getting therapy. Everybody, it's like a car. Like, you don't just drive a car all day long. Don't get an MOT, don't get the oil change, don't get this, don't get that. There's so many things that you need to do, and therapy just clears it out. And I remember you were like, you know, you need to be open, and I was like, I need to be open in all aspects of my life then. And that pushed me to go to speak to my therapist. Speaking to her was amazing. You know, when you speak to a therapist, you start from the beginning, and that person doesn't know your story. Like, I'm always telling my friends, oh, this happened, and they're like, yeah, but you know, we've had this discussion. But the therapist is like, really? And they go back, and Tara did that for me. Tara helped me to stand up for myself when, you know, I wasn't being, like, the love wasn't being reciprocated in family relationships, friendships, romantic relationships. I was there, and I can literally stand up to someone and be like, you don't meet my standards. Not in a bad way. I'm not saying that, like, I'm too good for you. I'm just saying we don't align, and alignment is so important. Like, always. I think Tara brings it. I think Tara brings that alignment between you and the universe, because people think, oh my God, God's not giving me what I want. I spoke to someone a couple of days ago, and he was like, I asked God for something a couple of days ago, and then I just never got it. So I'm just really pissed off with him. And I'm just like, it doesn't work like that.
You've
it
got
doesn't
to
work
take the
like
aligned
that.
action. And you took that, Jaz. And I'm so pleased that the tarot was able to give you that.
Yeah, it was. And now I can go to bed and be like, you know, when things are going really bad, and in the past couple of months, things have been going really, really bad, I've just been like, thank you. Like, I was speaking to a friend, and she was like, just thank God or the universe for everything you have. And I got into bed yesterday. I went out for a meal yesterday, and I was eating, and I was like, look at this food. Like, this is all for me. And it wasn't like expensive food. It was just Turkish, but everybody knows Turkish is amazing. And, you know, I was just there, and I was just like, look at this food. Like, I'm consciously able to put good food in my stomach. Then I got home and into the bedroom that I designed for myself, and I'm looking at my vision board, and I'm like, you've been given the opportunity to even have these dreams. You know, that's such a big thing. And Tara brought that to me, because before I was just like down in the dumps, looking at what I don't have, and it kept multiplying. And again, Tara helped me do that, because have you ever noticed when you're buying a new car or you're buying this outfit, you see it everywhere? Like, I just started looking for Fiat 500s, and now there's like 6 parked on my road. There was 2 in the parking when we got here, and I'm just like, why do I keep seeing them everywhere? Because I know it's a sign I need to go and buy one. But it's because you see what you focus on, and all I was focusing on was lack. How I didn't like how my hair is thinning, how I've put on so much weight, you know, I've not got any money. And then suddenly I just started thinking, let's just pretend. Imagine if you had loads of money. Imagine if your hair was amazing. It shifted my personality so much, where now I'm just like, no one can break me now. I've already shown you all my weaknesses. I've just told the whole community I've got thin hair and I have put on a bit of weight, but you can attack me for it. It's completely fine, because I know I'm working on it. So And again, tarot brings that clarity. It brings that, you know, just, if I would say one thing is just try it. Go with an open mind and be like, but you actually need to change. It's all well and good saying, I need to change my life. I'm going to do this, and then just not do it.
Yeah.
I wanted to make that decision because I was so bored.
Yeah.
I was so, not even bored, I was sick and tired of being stuck in the mud and just being like, I can't move. It's because you're flapping around constantly. Like, I was just there like, help. I can't get out. And then I was just like, just chill, take the steps. And I took one step every single day. And now I think I'm in an amazing place.
You definitely are. Like I said, I've, you know, known you for like nearly 2 years now, and I've seen a massive leap, actually, I'd like to say, from what I originally saw of you to where you are now. Yeah. And like I said, you know, with the tarots, they bring that to the surface.
They do.
You know, like I do face-to-face readings, but I also do through Zoom just as effectively. And I'll always pick the card up. So I'm not looking down. I actually put it right up to the camera so that person is the querent is looking at it, connecting with it, and knowing what I'm talking about, because I feel that's just so important. So important. But I'm so pleased it's worked out.
Thank you. And I'm so pleased you've come on this journey with me.
Thank you.
So speaking of cards, let's do a reading for my community. So my community, my followers, what do they need to hear? Everyone sitting at home is going to be like, go on then, test us out. So let's see today. Let's do a reading. I'm
just going to use my tinnitus because I just like to break the energy a little bit. Of course. So it might be a bit loud for the
it's all right.
For the microphone, but I'll just bring us into the moment, Jazz. Just to break the energy up a little bit and just ground us, which I think is really important.
Yeah.
Okay, so
here we go, community.
So let's have a shuffle. So you want a card for your community?
Yeah. What does the All That Jazz podcast community need to hear today?
You can tell me when to stop, Jazz.
Okay. Now.
Okay. Let's have a look. I'll just split these cards up quickly. Okay. Let's have a look.
I'm excited.
Ooh, so we've got the Queen of Wands.
Here she is. Oh my God, yes. You knew she was coming out.
I love it. And what I love about this card is that it's you know, it's all about that, you know, owning your energy.
Yeah.
Standing in your ground, being protective of the, you know, but I also feel like with this card, I'm just going to look at it while I'm doing it.
Of course.
Is also not just owning your queen energy, which I feel is really relevant to the fact that we've talked about International Women's Day and women in general.
And that was the card that came out for August for me. And, you know, I am the queen of my own.
So this is definitely about taking action. Okay, but standing in your power. So I feel like there might be people out there at the moment that feel they can't do that, or they feel they don't, you know, they may even know that they have that sort of energy and power within them, but they're a bit afraid to show it. So what I would say is, don't be afraid to show this. You know, stand in your power, stand your ground, you know, this is also, I feel, if you're looking for a new career opportunities, I would say there are opportunities out there for you, but this is a boss lady. So if you're starting a new venture or anything like that, I would suggest that you go for it because you have all the tools that you need, and take the action, the required action that you need, and also to use your energy wisely. Please use your energy wisely, because, you know, I think you tapped into it a little bit today as well, Jazz. About you know, I had all this energy, but I didn't know quite what to do with it. So it's about really channel the energy that you have in the most appropriate way. So if you want to start any new ventures, then really do start to sort of embody those. If you are looking for a job and you have gone for a job, there's a good chance that you'll get this position. So amazing. I don't know, I'm drawn more towards career today than anything else. And if you want to know about something that's going on within your relationships, then show that passion. Be passionate. There's nothing wrong with that. But again, I want to say, use your energy wisely. Is really coming through.
I have goosebumps. I love this card so much, and I completely agree. I know a lot of my community are focusing on their careers. I know so many people that are starting up new ventures, including me. So this card was just there. And relationships, I completely agree, because I feel like we really have this idea that only give the energy that you're getting back. But sometimes if someone's not taking the step forward, you need to be the one to take the step forward. And I completely agree. I don't sort of operate in my relationships the way the other person is operating. I give them everything, and if they don't give it back, that's a direct reflection on them, not me. And I completely agree. I think a lot of people really do need to start showing that passion.
There's a difference, isn't there, Jazz, between being standoffish and actually owning your energy and showing it in a firm but fair way. But be protective of your energy as well, I want to say. So if you are somebody who's quite open, have rituals, or that you kind of protect your energy before you go out, clear your cords, and things like that as well. And just be firm is what I want to say. And this is also, don't do predictions, but outcomes for this could be possibly in fruition around Leo season as well. Oh my god. Okay, because it's fire energy. I
love it. Okay? I just love it.
And also, if we're talking about health, take care of your health, take some action around your health as well. Again, I'm feeling that excess energy, channel it into something that is going to put you as the
queen.
The queen, like being boss, your the boss. 100%. Sort of do what's aligned to you. So,
because I think people think boss as in you've got to boss everybody around, but what I used to think about like bosses is you need to just boss your life. Like you need to be the boss of your life. And being firm is one thing that has definitely I've learned, because there's times where like there's been in like work situations or family or relationships where I've been like, oh, they just did a thing and I just really didn't like it. And now I'll just send them a text, or I'll just be like, no, that doesn't work for me. And that's called bossing your own life. You're not bossing other people around, not at all. But you're just saying, you're saying, this is my life. This is what works for me and this is what doesn't work for me. And if it doesn't work, you're going to have to change it, because if you want to be a part of my life, that means you're stepping into my sort of office. You can't just walk into someone's office and be like, do this, do that, unless you're the boss. And
don't call for me unless you've been called.
Exactly.
But the other thing is be boundaried. And if you do face any back chat or something from whatever it is you're doing, it's really important to understand that just stand your ground and just look the other way. The queen is looking the other way. She's not interested.
I noticed she's just like, I got here, I'm on the throne. And I like the little black cat that's at the bottom, because it's like, again, black cats are like, if especially in the Indian culture, if a black cat walks past you, that's it, like, go the other way. And I'm just thinking, look how the queen has tamed that cat to sit right next to her. It's like, you need to tame these this negative things. And I love how you talk about the word negative, but you're like, use it loosely. But everything needs two sides, like the yin and the yang. You need to balance everything. I feel like negative things are not bad. Like sometimes we need to pull out the negatives. Like I pull out the negatives in myself, and I want people to do it to me too. Like sometimes people do tell me, you're so defensive over this one thing, and I'm just like, but it's a trigger or it's a trauma, I need to work on it. And I'm like, thank you for telling me that. Actually I'll get defensive because it's a natural mechanism. But
just stand your ground. Stand your ground, and just you make your own luck in life, and just own. I would say to the audience, just own your life, own what you do, and take these steps, because just push yourself out your comfort zone, because I had to.
And I did it too, and I'm here.
You did. So yes, you did.
I completely agree. So to the community, you need to own everything, own your worth, own who you are, be the boss of your own life, be firm, anyone looking for those new ventures, make sure you channel that energy directly into your business. Forget about everyone else and live your life.
Yeah, because they will come out as long as you got that right energy.
Yeah.
Firm but fair is the queen of.
She's a fair ruler, of
yes.
course. Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for coming on the podcast today, Gurdeep. Everything we've talked about has just, it's been fun and refreshing, and I really hope that the community can benefit from this. So tell us a little bit about how the community can get in touch with you.
So you can follow me on my Instagram at Setal_holistic_wellbeing. DM me if you'd like to, I'm not expecting you, if you contact me that, you want a reading, but if you're intrigued and even if you want some clarity over how it works, then please do reach out to me. And I'm happy to have those conversations. And I also just wanted to say a thank you, obviously, to yourself for sort of having me on and believing in me. And I think it's important for the community to know that you've tried and tested this.
100%.
This isn't, Jaz doesn't do things.
Jaz does not do things that other people tell her to do. So, And I also just wanted to say thank you to a few people that have kind of helped me on my journey, because I talked a lot about putting out my, my comfort zone. So I'd like to, say thank you to Birmingham Secret Events, who had me at their event twice. Bless them. And also to Lotus Zen Wellbeing, who had me at her sort of wellness journey event. So I'll be doing some events there as well if people want to come and see me in person. 100%.
Doing one in Bedford in June and one at the end of June again in Great Bar in Birmingham. So please come along. There'll be some wonderful, practitioners there as well. And also, just to everybody, my family, my friends, they've been so supportive of my journey. And I'm going to give a shout out to my cousin Jackie. She'll kill me. But just to say thank you, because she really supported me on those. And just thank you to all those people for affording me, giving me that platform. And thank you to your community as well for listening today. I hope it helped them in some way.
Of course it will. And 100%. I've been to these events as well. So
you came to my last one.
I came to the last one. It was amazing. I honestly, quickly touch on it. There was like a sound bath and I had tears. Like a few people walked out and they were upset as well. And I had tears because I felt like it brought everything up to the surface. Such an amazing, I even bought a candle made out of a fresh coconut. It was beautiful.
Lovely.
So 100% I've tried the events as well. So
yes, you did.
Definitely. And I'll definitely be at both of those.
Sounds amazing, isn't it? I mean, when I do this, as you know, the sort of sound healing and releasing that trauma and things,
it's amazing.
Has profound effects.
It really does.
And it will be different for everybody.
100%.
So thanks again, Jaz.
You are most welcome.
Thank you, everyone.
So that's all for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, whether you're watching me on a video or whether I'm in your ears. Hi. Thank you so much for being part of today's episode. Thank you so much to Gurdeep for coming and opening up this Pandora box of amazing information. Stay tuned for the next episode, guys, and we will see you very, very soon. Lights, camera, and all that jazz.